Hi guys, it's Charla from That Girl Cooks Healthy. So today I'm gonna show you how to make this delicious lamb fried rice. So these are the ingredients that you need. I'm using some lamb that I've chopped into small pieces, some green seasoning, some pimento, also known as allspice, turmeric, some nutmeg, some cinnamon, some cardamom, some ground coriander, some ginger, some thyme. I'm using some cilantro, but if you can get shadow benny, that would be great. Some black pepper, some pink salt, some cooked brown rice, tomato paste, red onion, scallion, garlic cloves, bell pepper, chocho, also known as Christavine, some kale, but I normally use callaloo, so if you can get callaloo, that's even better. So now I'm just going to show you how to marinate the meat. So first I'm going to add my green seasoning. And then I'm just going to work that into the lamb. And now I'm just gonna add my dry spices. So now I'm just gonna use my hands to work that into the lamb. So once all of the ingredients have been added, you want to leave this to marinate for preferably overnight or at least several hours if possible. So now I'm gonna brown the meat. So I'm gonna add some olive oil to a skillet. I'm gonna wait for that to heat up, and then I'm gonna add the lamb. And I'm just gonna start to brown the meat in the oil. So now I'm gonna add some browning to the meat. You can do the burning of the sugar technique if you want to instead, but I know many people find that intimidating, so I'm just doing it this way so it's easier for everybody. The browning that I'm using is a homemade browning, which is why you see I'm using quite a bit of it. But if you're using the store-bought, you definitely don't want to use too much because it will make the dish quite bitter, but I will leave the link in the description box to the recipe and also to the browning as well. So now I'm gonna add just a splash of water to the lamb, and I'm gonna leave it to cook until it's tender. So this is halfway through cooking the lamb, and I'm just gonna add the tomato paste now, and I'm just gonna stir that in. And once I've stirred that in, I'm just gonna leave the meat to continue to tenderize and cook. You also want to make sure there's enough liquid in the pan as the lamb is cooking, so definitely keep an eye on the liquid levels and add a bit more water if you need to allow the meat to continue to cook. So this is how our meat looks once we're ready to move on to the next step. It's nice and tender. So I'm going to add the scallion, the onion and the garlic, and I'm just going to stir that in. As you can see, there's still some liquid in the pan, so I'm going to just cook all of that in the liquid. So I don't need to add anything else right now. I'm just going to continue to saute the onions and so on until they're soft and tender. So now I'm gonna add my vegetables to the pan. So I'm gonna add my red bell peppers, the pumpkin and the chocho, also known as Christavine. I'm gonna add the kale. As I said, if you can get callaloo, then use that instead. And I'm just gonna stir that in with the lamb so everything is nicely combined. Now I want these vegetables to be soft, so what I'm going to do now is I'm gonna add just a small amount of water, just enough to create a steaming effect, so it steams the vegetables. So this is how it looks after steaming the vegetables. It took about several minutes to steam, so they're nice and soft now. I'm just gonna give it another stir. So there's not much liquid left now, which is really important before we move on to adding the rice. So you definitely want to make sure that the liquid has been burnt off. You can do that by increasing the heat if you need to, but you really shouldn't have too much liquid. So now I'm gonna add the brown rice. And I'm just gonna fold that in. So you just want to do that slowly. So just slowly just fold it in with the lamb and the vegetables. And this will just allow the rice to heat through as it touches the bottom of the pan. So now I'm just gonna add some turmeric just to give the dish a bit of color. This is optional. If you don't care for the color, if you don't really mind, then you can leave this step out, but I like to add a bit of color to my dish, so I'm just folding that in. So before you finish the dish, you definitely want to do a taste test to check if you need to add any more seasoning. So I'm just going to add some pink salt, black pepper and some garlic to my dish, and I'm just going to stir that in. You can also add some organic soy or some coconut aminos, which is an alternative to soy, or hot sauce if you want to. It's really what you want to do at this point. So this is what the lamb fried rice looks like now. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching the video.